This episode is brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. A place where everyone is a loved member of the podcasting community. To link up with these shows and find your next podcast addiction, visit yourunpodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
Off me, fuck, quit. No means no.
No means no. Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott,
My name is Marc.
and we are a horror movie review show that comes to you every single week on a Tuesday. We bring you new episodes across all podcast platforms and YouTube, covering movies that you have selected us to cover on our Instagram page. You can also get early drops of this show with absolutely no ads, and they drop on a Thursday prior to this episode over on our Patreon. Go to Instagram to vote as well, at You Run Podcast. Every week you get to vote on what we cover in an upcoming episode. If you're new to the show, we give our review and our scores, then we deep dive, not necessarily in order. We tend to do it in order, but sometimes we go all over the place, and we give you our thoughts on everything we loved and everything we hated. And depending on our mood, we will dive into a lot of subplots and tangents, and Marc is very easily distracted. If you've seen the movie Up, Marc is Doug. If you just go squirrel, he's gone for ages. We also have interactive features on the show. We have 3-word review, and this week an abundance of voicemails. And we also play a game every single week. And this week it's called Marc Make a Wish.
Ooh, I like that.
You're going to like this. Like this is your opportunity to get all of your deepest desires out into the world.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, a fun one for a change. I'm not punishing you.
No. I just have to be careful with what I wish for, especially based on what happened here.
Definitely do. Also, I'm not punishing you because you were an excellent best man last weekend at my wedding, and I am now a married man. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah. It
See how long this one lasts.
On that note, fuck you, we'll move on. I tried to be nice and you ruined it now. Today, you guys chose for us to review a film that has taken the box office by storm, becoming one of the most financially successful films of all time, ever. And it is Curry Barker's Obsession. The film follows a shy man called Bear as he struggles to confess his feelings for his co-worker Nikki. After a series of failed attempts and some terrible advice from his very poorly selected friend group, he resorts to using a magical stick to get what he wants, the one Wish Willow. He wants Nikki to love him more than anyone else in the world. What follows is an uncomfortable ride of awkward social situations, moments that genuinely terrified me, which hasn't happened in a long time watching a horror movie. And a lot of commentary on consent and autonomy that honestly stayed with me a long time after the credits had rolled. This film is phenomenal. The pacing is just right to keep me uncomfortable throughout. The performance from Indy Navarrete is phenomenal, like Oscar-worthy good at times. And Michael Johnson as Bear is also fabulous. The film is great. everything is exactly what I wanted to be. It is the perfect be careful what you wish for scenario, and has fully cemented to me why the genie from the genie in the lamp in Aladdin had a rule of I will not make anyone fall in love with anyone else, because the genie knows. I really don't know what to say about this without really diving into it, which we're going to do in a minute. It's a 5 out of 5 film. It is film of the year. And if you haven't seen it, go and see it, because it is really, really, really worth your time.
Yeah, fantastic score for a fantastic movie. For me, I'm very much on the same page as you in terms of my opinion, the things I like, the things I disliked. I don't think there isn't many people out there that have any issue with this film whatsoever. This is a movie that is applauded across the board. I think I was I think the thing that struck me the most about this particular movie is I had really low expectations, which is a weird thing to say because I'm a big fan of Curry Barker. I love his first attempt at horror with his movie Milk and Cereal, which he put up on YouTube. Fantastic found footage movie. I'm a really big fan of his sketch comedy show that he has with Cooper, who also stars in this movie.
As Ian.
As Ian, that's correct. And I was dubious because I'm such a big fan of the stuff he's done prior to this, and the hype surrounding this movie going in. I was like, oh, this isn't going to live up to what I want it to be based on my experience with him prior. And I don't know if everybody else's experience with this movie is based on their prior knowledge to Curry Barker, or if this is just a first time experience for them so they can separate the two. So going in, I was a bit dubious. And I have to say, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. This was not an amateur production by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know for 1 second why I had my doubts. The sketch comedy stuff he does on his Facebook channel is some of the darkest sketch comedy stuff that I've seen in a long time. And he nails it flawlessly with comedic undertones. The only issue I really particularly have with this movie is that injection of comedy. And it only happens the once, and it's at the end, and we'll talk about it later on when we get there, because it felt very familiar. And it's not even that I didn't like it. It was just that particular scene pulled me out of it and made me think of this stuff that they do on Facebook more than anything else in this entire movie. The whole time I was completely separated from anything he had done prior. And I was like, wow, this guy knows how to make a horror movie. He's doing everything he should be doing, where most people would fall under the hurdle of doing jump scares time and time again. He doesn't need to, because the setup is enough without the execution of the scare itself. And I think that makes his particular flavor of horror so endearing, because he knows it. He studied it. He's watched it. He knows what works and what doesn't, and he knows what's cheap. And where most artists would fall into that cheap trope of executing it on that level, he knows he doesn't need to. Because for me, when I'm watching this movie, it feels like he's made this movie for himself, because he's a horror fan and he's like, I know what I want to see from a horror movie, and this is it. And I think he's done it fantastically. Again, the cast are brilliant. And one thing that really surprised me as well, considering the low budget that come along with this movie, the production values are extremely well done. The music throughout and the score throughout was one thing that I was like, maybe he's held back and scrimped on the score. But even that was fantastic. It had a really creepy white suburban undertone to it throughout, and it just suited the tone of the movie fantastically. Yeah, even though I have one little minor gripe with it, and again, I think it's a personal gripe and not necessarily a critique of the movie. You'll understand more when we get to it. But yeah, for me, it's a 5 out of 5. Even with that aside, I think it's a perfect movie. And for someone who doesn't watch an awful lot of modern day horror movies, this was one that really blew me away. I think it's fantastic. And I get why so many people are hyping it up as movie of the year so early on as well.
Yeah, and like I went and saw this when it first came out, like within like 3 days, and the cinema was packed. Because we've had a bit of a break, like we've had the wedding, we've had everything else going on. I was like, I need to watch it again. So I went to the cinema and watched it this week. It's been out for 2.5 weeks. The cinema was packed, like literally every single seat taken. So even now, 2.5 weeks on, it's still dragging in crowds. And I've been to see loads of new releases like 3 days after they're out at 7 o'clock at night, and the cinema's empty, absolutely empty. I can't remember what it was. Me and Lisa went to watch a new release, and it was like 2 days after it come out, and we were the only two people at a 7 p.m. showing.
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
happens more often than not these days, to be honest with you. I think the only thing that's overtaken this movie, I don't think Backrooms particularly came close. I know it was very successful, but in terms of charting, I think the only thing that's outdone it at the moment is Scary Movie. And I think that even though that movie's not particularly well received, it's a scary movie. You know, like people go for a laugh at the cinema if they don't want to particularly be scared. So I understand why that movie's doing successfully well at the moment. But yeah,
I mean, just being able to say Obsession and the Backrooms have absolutely spanked a $200 million production of Masters of the Universe
and Star Wars.
And Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu spanked both of those. Like, that is mind-bending to me.
The first Star Wars movie in what, 5-6 years to hit the cinema, and
7.
This movie spanked it.
Yeah, and then Masters of the Universe, which has a huge following of fans, me included, like, has done really badly. Which I'm going to say it now: if you are a fan of He-Man, if you ever played with the toys, if you ever watched any of the cartoons, like all the way through, it is worth going to see. Super fun.
So. I think the thing is, the problem you've got with modern day movies now is you have a choice. You know, cinemas are expensive. It's an expensive visit to go to the cinema. Even if you don't get snacks and stuff, you're walking away for the two of you 35, 40 quid out of pocket. You know, and that's not with parking and everything else to get there, fuel and all the rest of it. So, like, I get the decision people make where they're like, I like that, but it's a Masters of the Universe movie. There's nothing there that I need to go and see immediately that's going to spoil it for me if I wait 4 or 5 weeks for it to come on streaming. Yeah. Whereas a movie like Obsession, it's one of those movies where it's like, I know very little. And if I don't go and see this now and wait for it to come on streaming, by the time it comes on streaming, I'm going to have seen every single scene that's important on social media. So I think it's very much a toss-up of the decision you have to make when movies come out nowadays is whether you can wait for it because it doesn't matter whether you see bits and bobs on the internet, such as Masters of the Universe, or Obsession, where you're like, the bit, like, even before I even had the chance to go to it, the scene at the bar was already all over Instagram within days, you know?
Sorry about that. That was me. No.
Oh, was that you? Yeah, right.
That was my post, yeah.
No bad. So it's like stuff like that, and you're like, wow, that's an important scene. Like, I should really go and see this before all the rest of it starts getting spoiled.
Which is when this, if you're listening to this episode now, if you go to my Instagram, there's probably about 9 reels now of Obsession on there.
Yeah, chances are you could piece them all together and you don't have to go to the cinema anymore.
Yeah, exactly that. Let's have a quick break and then we will dive straight back into this movie.
Got a favorite movie on your mind? Imagine showing that to someone for the first time. Well, grab your popcorn and find a good spot and tune your ears into the reaction shot. Hosted by Dave, a true movie buff. He brings on a guest who hasn't seen the stuff. Fresh eyes, big laughs, from the wild to sublime. It's the first time watch every single time.
When the midnight hour's creeping near and you're looking for a dose of cinematic fear, don't turn the lights, don't look behind. We've got the perfect horror show to ease your mind. Oh, turn up the volume, turn the lights down low. It's under the floorboards, the ultimate show. With John and Eric breaking down the fight from classic monsters to the indie night.
I love the music for that. So
it's
good.
Isn't it? So head over to yourunpodcast.com. On our website, you will find every single member of the You Run Podcast Network. There is literally a show for absolutely everyone. On there, you'll also find a link to our merch. We have not sold a piece of merch in over a year. So long, in fact, that I don't even know what merch we have anymore because I haven't looked at it in that long because I only look at it when we sell something. So if you want some merch, of which we have lots, and I can't remember what it is, go and click on that link. While you're there, you can also click on the Patreon link, and that's the one that's really important. Patreon gives you early access to this show, completely ad-free. You get it almost a week early. You also get exclusive shows like You Run Extra, where me and Mark go way off the rails. And if you love our tangents here, it's an entire show of tangents. Also, early access to true crime. Lots of exclusives as well. In fact, over 300 exclusive videos are now on our Patreon. 300 that you can't get anywhere else but on our Patreon. Also, there's links to our socials. We are on Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube. Like, we're everywhere. We're at You Run Podcast on all of them. And one thing that I keep forgetting to say that I'm going to remember this week is make sure you rate and review us. You can do that on Spotify and you can do that on Apple Podcasts. If you could, it'd be really handy because a lot of our Apple Podcast reviews have expired, and we've had some negative reviews on Spotify following mine and Mark's review of Halloween 3.
Oh shit.
I
knew it was coming though. I knew it was coming. I had some select opinions. I would be very surprised if I didn't receive them based on that, the comments I made on that.
Yeah, we both had negative feedback on that episode. But hey, film is subjective. We say and think what we want, and yeah, we're just genuine here. Let's play another ad.
SWF Compound is bringing you a night of wrestling you will never forget. Sunday, the 12th of July, Oasis Academy, Southampton. Thrilling entrances, jaw-dropping moves, and raw intensity. Plus former WWE superstar Scotty 2 Hotty. To book tickets, go to compoundwrestling.co.uk.
Yes, that's right. The real Scotty 2 Hottie and me will also be at that event, are available. Go and get tickets at kapowwrestling.co.uk. Remember, again, you don't need to listen to these ads. You can just go and subscribe to Patreon. It's less than a chocolate bar a week to do it, like a lot less. I think a chocolate bar is like 95p now.
You kidding you are? Yeah, £1.20.
Is it?
£1.20 for a Whisper Gold I paid the other day, and I swear to God, I nearly slapped the cashier.
In which case, it's a chocolate bar and a half for an entire month of early release episodes. No ads.
£1.20 for a Whisper Gold, my friend. Do you know how extortionate that is?
Maybe we need to put our prices up. Get
you know
in
what
now.
The funny thing is, right? I'm going to go on a rant here right now. Do you know what the funny thing is, right? You can go like literally. So if you walk in a supermarket and then they have that really enticing section where it's got like the meal deal bits and you get your sandwich and your drink and your crisps. £1.20 for a Whisper Gold. You take a little walk around the corner, you can get a 4-pack for £1.80. And I was like, do the fucking maths. Like, do you think I'm stupid? I obviously then now ended up eating 4 Whisper Golds in one sitting as opposed to eating one, but still, I saved myself like a £5.
Yeah, the thing is, meal deals are the biggest thing in the world. Like a meal deal, whenever I go in, I know I shouldn't, but I'll always pick the most expensive sandwich, the most expensive drink, and the most expensive snack to go with it and get like £15 worth of stuff for like £3.80. Anyway, that is enough adverts. That's enough us rambling. Let's talk about this movie, and let's talk about the dreadful ability Bear has got to confess his feelings. Like, I'm with Ian in this moment at the beginning.
Yeah, Ian's the most relatable character in this movie, I'll be honest with you.
No, Ian's a massive bellend who is...
Why?
Why? Because he's fucking a girl behind Bear's back that he knows Bear's in love with and doesn't have the balls to tell him. That's why.
Because he's out of Bear's league. We know this, you know what I mean?
But as a good friend...
I tell you what, I've been Ian before. I don't care. I've been Ian before. I get it. He's trying to do the best by Bear. You know, he's trying to save his feelings, but also while getting his, you know?
So what you're saying is this is Ian.
I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Ian is basically trying to save him from embarrassment. He knows Nikki's out of his league. He can't help it. And there's nothing it's just sexual between him and Nikki. It's just a little bit of you help me out, I'll help you out. It's friends with benefits situation. It works everybody's favor.
Yeah, I get it. And I'll be honest, at this point, I was like, you're a good friend trying to help him out. Because when he's like, dude, you cannot sit there and go, I love you like the moon and the stars. Like, what the fuck are you even doing? Like, and I also like the fact that Sarah's there with a female perspective. She's like, do you know what? I actually found that really sweet. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, do you know what?
No, that's not Sarah. That's what's so funny about this scene. That's not Sarah. That's just a random waitress that he made do it
Oh,
to.
is it real? I thought it was
Yeah.
Sarah initially. Is it just a
No.
random person? That's even
Yeah, because that's
worse.
that scene where like Ian's like, yeah, thank you. It's like, oh, you want me to leave? Yeah, no, it's just a random waitress at the diner that he made Bear confess his love to and pretend it was Nikki. That's why it was so funny.
Oh,
That's why it's such a good scene. But she does look a lot like Sarah, I'll be honest with you. It was only I picked up on it on the second watch, because the first time I watched it, I didn't know who the characters were. And by the time that scene had ended, I didn't really know who was who. But the second time around, I realized, oh no, that's not Sarah. That's just the waitress in the diner, which made it even 10 times better.
Which explains why Ian went to her, get the fuck out of here. She's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like, yeah, go away. You're no longer required.
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest with you, though, I couldn't do that. Right. And one thing I'm curious to know as well, like all the ladies listening, what do you want? Would you be swooned by somebody confessing the Shakespearean level love that Bear did? Or would you just be like, dude, get a grip, let's just Netflix and chill?
I'm curious as well. And honestly, if we get the answer to that question on a future episode, we may have solved the mystery that is woman.
I think so. I mean, not that it's going to apply to either of us right now, because we're both married. I mean, certainly not for me anyway. I mean, you might get your chance again at some point. But right now, you're settled in.
But Bear is having a bad day, though, because he gets home and his cat, Sandy, has died because she's got into all of his antidepressants and sleeping tablets and all the other shit that he's taking, and she's dead on the floor.
Right, this cat looked fake as shit. It annoyed me.
It did look fake as shit, but I kind of overlooked it considering they made this movie for about £11.
They did, yeah. But it was like bag puss level kind of puppetry. And I was like, why is the cat sweaty?
And when Sandy goes to sleep, all her friends go to sleep. It was like... Bear's breakdown, though, like you see him fully clean up and then he goes and just lays in his bed and cries. I'm like, dude,
it's a fucking cat, man. It's a cat.
Yeah,
I was like, I would be more upset by the inconvenience of the mess it's made on my floor than the actual death of the cat itself. And Beck, I know you're listening. I have no apology to make for this. Cats are fucking stupid, right? And I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. As soon as he was like crying over the cat, I was like, you deserve everything that's coming to you in this movie, my friend.
He gets a phone call from Nikki, and Nikki's telling him that she's lost her necklace and she's trying to convince him to go to the quiz night. And he's like, oh no, I've got stuff going on. She's like, oh, but I really wanted to see you. And like all blokes in that situation, he went, oh yeah, no. The stuff I had to do is like not important now. I'm on my way. I found it really interesting that Indy Navarrete, who plays Nikki, she doesn't like horror movies. They scare her.
She's fucking Jamie Lee Curtis in this, or what?
No, she's not. So she sat down with Bear, with Michael Johnson, and he basically went, well, let's watch Hereditary. She finished it, but she ran out of the room 3 times during their viewing, going, no, I hate this. This is awful. And he's like pausing it, going, no, come back. You're going to love it.
I feel like that's really not a good introduction standpoint. It's like, look, let's get you in gently.
Let's
Have
start
you
with
seen Ari Aster's Hereditary?
Yeah, like if you're going to start, you're like, let's watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like that's loads of fun. Let's watch the first Nightmare on Elm Street. In fact, forget the first one, forget the second one. Let's watch Dream Warriors. Do something that's going to make her go, oh, this is fun, kind of scary but fun. And then in about a year's time, then go, now you're in. I've got something to show you. Here is Dead Girl. Watch this.
Yeah.
Bear, being the wet blanket he is, takes the I've lost my necklace as I must buy her a new one, and goes off to a weird, like, I don't know what you'd call it. It's one of these weird shops where they sell crystals and incense and
regularly. I'm a big crystal guy. You know, I wear a crystal every day.
You strike me as a crystal dream catcher kind of guy.
I am. I'm not a dream catcher kind of guy. That's where I draw the line. But I am a big believer in crystals. And I think it's hard not to be. like, I don't want to go on a tangent about crystals and stuff. You know me, I don't believe in ghosts, I don't believe in religion and things like that, but it's hard not to believe in something that's a product of the earth, and especially considering we use so many of them in day-to-day life, products and things like that. It's hard not to understand the energy emitted by certain crystals and stones and rocks and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, I frequent these shops quite regularly. I have a big shelf of crystals in my house. I have an amethyst next to my bed. Big crystal guy over here.
Honestly, I am not. No one who's a regular listener is listening now, going, "I'm genuinely shocked."
No, I know. I can't imagine they are. I can't imagine that. But you know what? Right, the reason, right? So I got into crystals purely based through. I had to go. So I had an injury at work. This wasn't the time that I fell off the roof. This was a year prior. I did my knee, and I tried like general doctors and stuff like that. So I went to this voodoo doctor, and if you the proper term for them is an osteopath. And what they do is, instead of doing like general massaging and exercising and stuff, they woosah. They woosah you. So
you
like
went to see Mr. Miyagi, he's there going,
yeah, this is honestly, dude, it is exactly that. So he like basically like he held his hand like over it. Do you know what I mean? He's like, oh, I can feel it. Like, honestly, dude, I swear to you, right? I swear this is exactly what he did. He's like, yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. And then he's like, just feel it drip. And I swear to you, right? I had been like suffering with this knee for nearly 2 years. I went to see this dude, and he was like, you need to come and see me for every 2 weeks for 6 sessions. My knee's never been better in my entire life, right? And this dude, he was like, I can sense you've got stress in your life. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking married. I've got 2 kids under 5, you know, of course I've got fucking stress in my life. It's like, oh, no, it's more than that. There's someone in your life that's causing you shit. I was like, yeah, the mother-in-law. And he knew straight away. And he's like, right. So what he did, he had this big tray of crystals, like all different types. And he's like, right, what I want you to do is I want you to hold your hand over this tray, and I want you to feel. And then when you find one of them that starts to like feel hot, so you should be able to feel the heat on your hand, that's the one for you. And I did, and this was the one that I picked. So this is a crystal that I picked. This was the first ever crystal that I got. This was the one that this guy gave me, my osteopath. He's like, right, that's a crystal for you. Whenever you should always keep that on you, keep it in your pocket at all times, and like it'll change your life. Like, and I was like, dude, it's a fucking stone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've skimmed shit like this across rivers numerous times.
has it changed your life?
It has. So I did it, and I kept it on me, and I kept it in my pocket for like maybe a month. And I felt better, and I felt like the stress of everything just sort of like ease from me. And I know that, like, look, you know me, I'm the biggest skeptic about anything, and I was fully in it. So what I did was I crafted it, I made it into a necklace, and now I wear it every day. This has been around my neck for 2 years, and I'm the best I've ever been, guys. Go buy some crystals, enjoy it, live life.
Yeah, like Mark, go to this shop. Hopefully you'll find one with better customer service, because the girl in there is not the one.
I love the staff in this shop.
Bear finds the one Wish Willow, and he's like, I'm going to get this. She's like, I thought you were getting a crystal. He's like, no, I think this will be better. She's like, no, it won't. Everyone comes back complaining. He's like, why? Are they
such a good back and forth?
Are they bad quality? She's like, no. He's like, do they work? She's like, yeah. He's like, oh, maybe people just wish and get what they want, and it turns out really bad. And she's like, yeah, or maybe like people die. Like, she basically tells him, like, don't buy this because it's going to go horribly wrong. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get this. Like, this whole thing, it just foreshadows everything, and it's beautifully done.
It's the back and forth between the two of them is just so perfectly executed as well, because like you can tell that Bear is really disbelieving of the situation, and she's also just not. She's not outright saying yes, this is going to work, but they have this really back and forth where, like, I would have a similar conversation as a skeptic, being like, "You're good at your job. I'm not too sure about this." He's like, "Yeah, maybe you should leave us a review." Like, it was just brilliant.
The stupid thing is, though, it's $7. Like, it's nothing. Like, just buy it. I for something that was so cheap, I wouldn't even have the conversation. But like one of those, she'd be like, "Oh, yeah." people bring them back all the time, and I would literally be like, yeah, I kind of don't care. Like if it doesn't work or it's bad, it's $7. Just go throw it away. Who cares?
The amount of stuff I've bought like that in the past from the joke shop is unbelievable.
Yeah, most of it is over there in a box. They head off to quiz night, and this is where we get what is now the first interaction with Sarah. I thought we met her earlier, but we don't. I like Sarah in this moment, and I like the fact that they very subtly show that she likes Bear. It's like she likes Bear. Bear likes Nikki. Nikki doesn't really like anyone. I'm going to say something really controversial now, and I know people are going to complain. Like later on in the movie, Bear is fully the villain. There's no if, buts, or maybes. We'll cover it when we get to it, and I'm going to hate on that man like you will not believe. But Nikki's a bit of a bitch. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows that Bear likes her.
I don't think she does.
Do you not? Because I get the feeling that she fully uses the fact that Bear likes her to her advantage. I get the feeling that she's a bit manipulative at the beginning.
No, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think for 1 second she does. And I think a lot of women in her situation who are very attractive, who are just overtly friendly, you know, I mean, like, there's this really, really weird stigma around attractive women not feeling like they can have friendship groups and stuff like that with men and things like that. And I think Nikki is a character who really shows she doesn't give a shit. Like, she is just herself, and she's very friendly with Bear. She's very friendly with Ian. She's very friendly with Sarah. Like, it's not her responsibility to accommodate Bear's feelings in that situation. And at the end of the day, she has no idea. I think she is entirely oblivious to it. She sees them as just friends. Now, him overstepping is not her responsibility, in my opinion.
No, and he oversteps a lot. Like, basically, they leave the quiz night. Nikki wants to go home, and Bear's like, I'll drive you home, like full-on volunteers. One thing I want to bring up before we dive into the snapping of the stick and where shit goes down is Curry Barker filmed all of the scenes prior to the Wish with Nikki twice, and he got her to play them in 2 ways. So in one take, she plays it that she knows, and she also has feelings for Bear. And in the other one, he got her to play it that she knows, but she has no interest in Bear. And then when he got to the final cut, he picked a mix of the two, so you can never fully gauge how she feels about Bear. And I thought that was really clever.
I think so. And I think that shows very well, because as much as I've said I don't think she's aware, there is an element to the progression of their characters where, like, so the reason why this is all unfolding is Bear's cat dies. She rings, come to quiz. He's like, no, I'm dealing with a dead cat, but he doesn't tell her that. And she says, look, I'm moving. You know, I feel unfulfilled around here. I'm moving. Life's too short. Are you sure you don't want to come? Because I'm not going to be around here forever. He goes, and then this is a moment where he's like, she's leaving soon. I need to confess.
Yeah.
And which Ian's like, don't you fucking do it. Obviously, we know reason why, because Ian's secretly banging her on the side, even though he has no connection to her emotionally. He didn't want his side piece to go away.
Yeah.
So Bear's like, this is my last sort of chance saloon to tell her. Now, there's a lot of moments throughout this build-up where I'm like, in all honesty, man, I think you two would make a good couple, and I wouldn't be surprised if she turned around to you and said, you know what, Bear, actually, yeah, I kind of like you too. I've never really thought about it, but I think this could maybe work.
Yeah, I think what annoys me is, like, there's a bit where he drives her home and he drops her off, and they have this weird interaction, and like, at this point she can tell he wants to tell her that he likes her. And she gets out of the car and he follows Ian's advice and calls her Freaky Nikki. I'm like, oh, dude. And she comes back and goes, don't call me that. Like, I was called that in school. I don't like that. He's like, I'm really, really sorry. And she flat out says, look, Bear, do you like me, like, more than friends? And I'm sat in the cinema going, tell her now. Like,
weak,
this
man, weak.
Like, it wound me up so much because he's such a cowardly fool. Like,
and to be fair to you, when you said Ian was a knobhead earlier, this is a moment where I was like, yeah, Ian, that was a bit of a knobhead trick. Where there's like, yeah, flirt with her, be nasty a little bit, call her Freaky Nikki, knowing full well she was not going to like that in the slightest, whether it was playful or not.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he had this perfect opportunity and he lets it pass, and she goes, "Okay, well," he's like, "No, no, like, I like you, like, as friends." And she's like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to bed now, Bear." And as she walks away, he takes out the one Wish Willow, snaps it, and he's like, "I wish that Nikki loves me more than anyone else in the world." I
Oof.
also love the fact that Curry Barker, when he come up with the one Wish Willow, he didn't come up with a law for it. So there's
Yeah,
no rules to the one Wish Willow, and he deliberately left it like that. So when they were in the process of making the film, if someone went, "Oh, could we do this?" He's like, "Yeah."
yeah, we can.
There's no law book to it. Like, we could do whatever we want.
And
Brilliant.
I think that's a perfect way to do movies like this. Sometimes when you dive too deeply into it, it kind of ruins the mythology of it. It's the John Carpenter boogeyman theory played out perfectly. You know, there's no rhyme or reason, there's no explanation necessary. I know we get it in the sequels and all the rest of it, but the whole
Yeah.
idea of this mystique to it. And I watched an interview with Curry and he was talking, he was like, you guys watching will come up with something a million times better than I ever could, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. What you encompass in your brain behind the one Wish Willow will be better than anything I could put to pen to paper, and it will vary throughout every single viewer. And for that reason alone, I think it's worth not putting in law. And I was like, yeah, do you know what, dude? That's fucking perfect. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. And I love that there's an instant reaction. So Bear snaps it, goes, "Oh, nothing's happened." He has this kind of like, snap. "Oh no." And then he turns around and Nikki's just stood on the porch and she comes back down and she's really awkward. She's like, yeah, do you want to come in?" He's like, "No, I'm just going to go home." And then she comes around and gets in the car. She's like, "Yeah, well, I'll come stay at yours." And he's like, No, this is weird." She's like, "Well, I'm a bit down because my dad just is like dying of cancer." He's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm so sorry." She's like, "Anyway, can we go to yours now?" And
This is so much better on a second watch, purely based on the fact that you know what happens later on with the internal battle of Nikki and who she actually is, and that she's
yeah,
sort of get out trapped inside kind of thing. This snap realization of like, whoa, what the fuck, what is this? This is weird. And then she goes back to being the obsessed Nikki, and then back again to being like, what? I'm not being myself. You know, it's so fucking good.
I think the best example of it is when they get back to his and they're sat on the bed and she's like proper, like, he sets her up in a room and she like takes her top off and she sat there in a brush like, "Will you sleep with me?" And Bear's like, "Well, yes, yes, I will." Because at this point, I don't know if that wish has worked, and fuck me, I'm gonna try my luck. And they lay in bed and they start kissing. And she's midway through a kiss and she snaps out of it, screams, falls off the bed, and Bear's like, "What the fuck?" It like that moment, like, everyone jumped. I was like climbing over my seat, like, fuck.
Yeah, so good, so good. And again, it's not even like this is the whole thing about Curry Barker and his horror sort of way of producing it on screen. It's like it's not a horror moment, it's not a jump scare moment. It's just a realization of the situation for the original Nikki, and it's like, oh shit. But it's done so incredibly well. I mean, I think that one of the freakiest things before that is the moment where she turns around to Bear and says, "My cat's died." And that, do you know when you get that really weird, uneasy moment of confusion in your brain? Like, I don't know if you've ever been hit hard in the head and like things just like, and
You've met me. Have I been hit hard in the head?
you fucking must have been, mate, to be honest with you. So like it was that kind of like sort of ketamine trip that Nikki's going on in that moment where she's like, "Oh, my cat's just died." She's like, "Your cat?" I mean, your cat's just died. Like, I always get really uncomfortable with human confusion. That's one thing that always sets me off. And I think the human confusion element of this movie is just done incredibly well. Like, you can see there is nothing worse. I've done a lot of drugs. You've done a lot of drugs. We've all experimented in the past, you know, and like one of the weirdest things for me is not being in control. That's one thing I've never liked with my experience with drugs, which is why I don't really dabble too much in hallucinogenics, or at least I have in the past with mushrooms and stuff. Not great. I really disliked it. I disliked the uncomfort of being in control. And when you start to see certain scenes throughout this movie of the real Nikki and the pretend Nikki sort of battling it out, and the confusion amongst the two of them, I think that's what really shines the most in the writing in this film.
Yeah, it's so well done. It's so well put together, and it is, you say, every single thing about this movie, like from here on out, I felt uncomfortable. In every single scene, there was something about it that just didn't sit well with me. I mean, even the next scene where he gets up in the middle of the night and he's Googling, he's basically gone to fucking AI. Is the One Wish Willow real? And that it's like on Reddit pages, and some people are going, yeah, it's definitely real. Like
I love the responses on this.
Yeah, like one of them was like, yeah, my mum was really ugly and she bought a One Wish Willow and snapped it, and now she's really hot. And then the comment below it's like, you think your mum is hot? And he's like, no. And then there's like another one like, no, it's a novelty item for like $7. Of course it doesn't work. And like he goes to bed in the end. When he gets up in the morning and wakes up to the cat shrine, yeah, just no.
Even
like,
before that, though, it's like the subtlety of things. Like he's coming back into bed, and he's like, "Where have you been?
Yeah,
what have you been doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just got up to pee," and it's like, "Dude, she's gonna check that computer. She's gonna check that computer, man." And I think one of the things is like, even though this movie is done to the extreme in every situation, I think it's so relatable because we've all been in relationships like this, not to the extremities of this film. But like there are moments in it where you're like, oh fuck, I've been there. You know, like the conversations where he's like building himself up in the car to go in and tell her that he's not going for the boys' night and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, I fucking feel you, man.
Yeah, I do as well. Like I'll be honest, I've never had someone make a shrine out of my dead pet before. That would be new if that happened.
That's a new one in my book as well.
They head off to work. I've got to ask you, did you recognize Cassell's music store?
Of course I do. No stairway here.
Ah, you did. That's amazing. It is from Wayne's World. It's where Mike Myers finds the what is it? The 1964 Fender Stratocaster, and
no stairway.
No stairway. I thought it was really cool. I also like the interaction that Bear has with Ian here, where Ian's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what happened? He's like, well, no. And he's like, oh, she's being really weird. He's like, look, I think she's going through some shit. You need to like back the fuck off. And it's fully for his own purposes at this point. Like, he's like, you need to back the fuck off because I'm planning on having sex with her this weekend. And at the moment, Bear, you're like kind of fucking up my vibe.
This is where it starts, though. This is it. Like, you start to see Nikki, even though people are conversating with her in the backdrop,
and she's just staring
completely at Bear the whole entire time, and you're like, fuck, like I don't like this.
No, I didn't like it either. I like the fact that when they come out, she walks around like she's going to get into Bear's car, and he's like, no, you're not coming home with me. She went, I know I'm not coming home with you, I'm getting my bag. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she gets in the car. Right. Yeah, and then she gets in the car with Ian, and off they go. Bear's at home that night, and there's a knock at the door, and it's Nikki in a red dress, and she's in the darkness, and her eyes are glistening, and she's like, yes, I know you like me, Bear, and I like you too. And I'm like, dude.
So here was one of the first things that I was like, right, he's on the phone to Ian.
Yep.
Why hang up?
Because he's got a knock on the door. I'd always hang up when my door knocks as well.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, just hang on a sec, mate. Someone's at the door. The door and the phone would just be there. You'd be part of the conversation, you know.
No, see,
then we'd carry on talking, you know, and that should be how that conversation unfolded. Ian should have been able to listen to the entirety of that conversation. There is numerous times throughout this movie, and again, I'm not criticizing and I'm not nitpicking, but there are moments where I'm like, dude, just ring Ian and leave your phone on the side as all this shit is unfolding, because right now, that's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, see, I'm one that if my door goes, I'll be like, I'll call you back. And I always hang up, and then I'll go and I do exactly what Bear done. Oh, dude, there's someone at the door. I'll call you back in a minute. I have a theory on Nikki, and it's one that's been buzzing around online. We'll talk about it at the end, but Nikki is a cat. We'll talk about it later. Nikki is Bear's cat.
Right. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Right. I get. Yeah.
It works on many levels. I'll explain it later. From here, we get the first sex scene which I don't know.
It's raping time. Yeah.
Talk about that later when I'm just like, dude, you're an absolute scumbag.
At this time, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's having a good time. Everything's going well. He's not to be criticized at this point, I don't think.
At this point, I genuinely think like he's got a suspicion, like this is weird. But
would you believe it? Would you be like, oh yeah, that novelty fucking £6 one Wish Willow that I bought has definitely worked, so I shouldn't do this?
No, of course I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, okay, this is cool. Later on, there's
later on, yeah, he's a fucking bad dude.
Yeah. And then we get like almost like a romantic comedy love montage. And I think this is so clever where you get like clips of them cooking and they're laying on the bed, and he's playing a guitar and they're cuddling, they're laughing. I'm like, oh, this is really sweet. Like, it's really nice. And it made me question if they just stayed in that bubble and always worked the same shifts and never went out and never had a social life, could they have maintained a very healthy, happy relationship long term?
I think so, yeah. And I think that's one of the main things that highlights well throughout this movie is that external factors in a relationship are what 9 times out of 10 causes of rifts, whether that be infidelity, whether that be socializing with groups outside of your relationship. And don't get me wrong, I think all of those things are healthy, barring the infidelity side of it. Obviously, you have to have separation and integration with other people. But you're right, they're in that honeymoon period, and had that stayed and they'd not felt the need to go on and meet other people and be around other people, the two of them could have quite easily coincided with one another for a very, very long period of time. Had they had a desert island with just the two of them, they would have lived happily ever after.
Exactly that. We do get to see one of their dinner dates, and they're on a dinner date and they're chatting and everything's fine. And then Bear gets a phone call from me and he takes it. He's like, dude, like, I know Nikki said like her dad's dying, but I've done some digging. Like, her dad's absolutely fine. There's fuck all wrong with him.
Bro, Ian's a bro, you know what I mean? He's looking out for his pal.
He's looking out for his dick. That's what Ian's doing.
Yes, but at the same time, like, it's weird. Like, nothing is right. And he's not like, I've had it, you know, I've been the guy, you know, where I've met my wife. I've been the guy who's been out like every weekend, social butterfly, met my missus. We started settling down. I didn't go out as much, but the boys are all ringing, come out, you know. And then I've also gone on, but I did that very early on in my life. I did that when I was younger, and now then, like, got to a stage in my relationship and my marriage where, like, I was back out with the lads and I was socializing, and then the lads that I'm hanging around with who didn't meet their partners till they're in their 30s have started settling down, and I'm like, dude, come on, what are we doing? Go for beer time, and like, nah, I can't come out to play tonight. I was like, oh,
yeah, you've got to wait.
I was this guy 10 years ago.
You've got to wait 10 years for him to reach your point.
I know. I'm like, shit. But like, my point is, in that situation, like, if one of the lads had been like, yeah, no, I can't. Mrs.'s dad's dying, and you're like, but bearing in mind, you already know a bit about the girl anyway, and they all know that she doesn't have any connection with her dad. She doesn't have any relationship with her dad. It's not like Ian's just gone out on the scurry to sabotage shit. Like, it's a very unusual situation for her to be so caught up by the fact that her dad has cancer, considering she doesn't even like him and has no connection to him. These are a core group of friends that know each other inside out. So he's like, this just doesn't add up, mate. Like, why? I get Ian's reaction to be like, I need to look into this because, like, this just doesn't seem right.
I understand why he's done it, but it is definitely for his own purposes. Like,
there might be a little bit of it there. Yeah, you might be right, but I still, at this point, I'm champion. And do you know what? Throughout, I'm championing Ian. I think he's a great guy.
He goes back and asks Nikki, is your dad really died of cancer? And she goes, no. And he's like, and before he has a chance to say anything, she's like, no, and stands up and has this big explosive scene. He's like, okay, sit down. And then she's like, and why does it matter? And he's like, well,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. And then he's
definitely does.
It definitely does. He's like, do you love me? She's like, I love you more than anyone in the whole wide world. And at that point, that's when Bear's gone, oh, fuck. Like, you
Yeah.
see him have the, oh, shit, this is real.
One thing that, so this scene in particular, it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
And I wanted it to. Not the overall scene itself, but when Bear goes off onto the phone with Ian, she stands up. Nikki stands up and scurries off. And it's like, where's she gone? What's she doing? Is she listening? Like, is she listening in on the conversation? But when he comes back to the table, she's still sat there. But you can see her in the background get up.
Yeah,
Like,
I think she just moves a bit closer just to try and earwig, I think, what happened.
yeah, I was thinking, oh shit, she's gonna come like round the corner and be like, hey.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier on about Curry Barker setting up jump scare moments without executing them. And this is one of those scenes where he does it. It's like you're all sat there on tenterhooks because you've seen her get up from the background, expecting her to come into the shot and do something to Bear or jump in on screen, and you're all there like waiting for it, and it doesn't happen. You know, but the build-up's there to the point where it puts you on the edge of your seat without cheaply executing it.
Yeah, and it keeps you there as well. Because, like, before I move on quickly, the restaurant that this is shot in is Tony's restaurant in North Hollywood. They've reported almost a double in attendances for people to try and sit in the actual booth since the movie came out, which is awesome.
That's fantastic. Also, before we move on, I do want to criticize this scene ever so slightly, purely because it's a real Matrix style situation. So she has her meltdown, and you see everybody in the restaurant being like, whoa, what the fuck? And then immediately as Nikki calms down, everyone carries on as if nothing ever happened. And I've been in real life situations. That is not the case. That wouldn't happen. People would be like, oh, fucking hell. You know, and it doesn't. Everyone carries on if it didn't happen.
Everyone would be looking, waiting for it to go again.
Yeah, or they'd just be nebbing to be like, oh shit, what the fuck are those two arguing about? And they'd be constantly turkey necking the table, but that doesn't even happen either. It's just as if like it didn't even happen. I'm like, that could have done a bit of tweaking.
Yeah, from here, this is where Bear really becomes the villain for me. So they go back to his place, and he knows now. He fully knows that Nikki is not Nikki. She's not got control of her own actions. And then he full on has sex with her. I'm like, you are a scumbag. Like, you know now. You know the One Wish Willow worked. You know she's not in control. You know this is not what she wants, but you had sex with her anyway. And what follows is fucking perfect, because it is the scariest moments of the movie, and Bear fully deserves every single one of them.
Yeah, he's a bad man. He's a bad man at this point in my eyes.
I've got an audio drop for the bad man if you'd like it.
I would love it.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
I feel like I didn't even know that was coming. It's almost the same thing I just said. Yeah, no, it's hard to like I'm not saying what he's doing is right, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. It's very wrong.
It's rape.
But
I can't say it's rape and you can't follow that with but. You just can't.
No, but like there would still be a bit of naivety in Bear, where he's like, nah, surely not. I know it's very coincidental, but surely not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at this point, I'd be like, we need a little bit of space. Like I need space to process this shit in my head, especially after how you behaved in the restaurant. And like, if not at this point, definitely the following morning after what's about to happen, there'd be a big break. Like Bear goes to sleep after he's raped her. And like,
you can't say that. You can't follow on every scene from now on with rape.
And he basically sits up and he's like, oh, she's not here. And he looks in the corner and she's in the corner. He's like, what you doing? And she scurries out of the corner into the light. She's like, I'm just watching you sleep. You're cute when you sleep. He's like, can you come back to bed? She's like, no. And then she scurries back into the corner. She's like, go to sleep now, Bear. And he sort of lays down. And like, if that was me, I'd be laying down going, I cannot
Again,
sleep because I'm gonna
weak
get
man.
stabbed.
Like I would be out of bed. I'd be like, look, what the fuck is going on here?
What is going on? And she follows it with like he gets into bed and she comes scurrying past sideways with a plant pot covering her face, like almost in a crab-like motion. And he's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And she drops the plant pot and she's like, "They're for Sandy." And he's like, "Okay then." And then she
What's the
screams at him.
meltdown she has in the corner? No, because like so she's in the corner. She comes out. She's like, I can't sleep. I like to watch you sleep. She scurries back like a crab, and then like we have that weird face distortion thing, and she
Yeah,
starts screaming at
of
him.
yeah, and I don't know if that's real Nikki coming through. And then, like, because she does it again in a minute, like after she's dropped this plant pot, she like screams in his face, and he sort of like gets her into bed. They sort of lay there, and then he goes to move. He goes to move ever so slightly, and she just screams in his face, "No!" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, dude,
yeah,
you can't sleep tonight because you are gonna get stabbed."
yeah. It's a scene after. So right, that was weird enough, and then it's the morning after.
Did you
Bears.
cut my hair?
No, that's later on. It's the morning after. Oh no, is it? Was
It's
that
now. Yeah,
oh, is
it's
that the
now.
cut your hair scene now? Right.
Did you cut my hair? Yes.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. He's like,
But to
"Well,
be fair, right, to be fair to Nikki, his haircut does look better.
it does. She did do a good job. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, we're on different shifts today, so you have a nice day. And she's like, I'm really sorry about
Yeah,
last
it
night.
is the same scene. Yeah,
Uh,
this is
I, I,
brilliant.
I love you. He's like, I love you too. And they have a kiss. And he turns around and the fucking door is fully duct tape shut.
And the best thing about this is he goes to open the door and she's like, oh well, if you can't leave, maybe you should just stay. He's like, no, I've got it. You just wait here. You just
Yeah,
wait
I'm
here.
fine. Like this is like she stands there, watches him leave, smiling as he leaves, and then as the door closes, you just watch her piss herself, and she stands there all day, like all day. But she did pack him a lovely lunch.
The lunch.
Oh mate, and he sat there. So he takes his lunch. He goes to work. He sat there with Sarah, and Sarah
This is
said,
a really nice scene with him and Sarah as well.
Yeah,
This
Sarah,
provides a lot of context.
yeah, Sarah's like, it's really weird, but like, if you're happy, you're happy. Like, I think she's leaned on you too much, and like, she's just been rejected from a college, and they have like a little cuddle, and he's like, well, and he's taken a bite of his sandwich while this whole conversation's going on, and there's a note in there, that's like, to my little food critic, because he said about being a food critic earlier. There's a couple of photos. One thing I'll point out is one of the photos, the photo of her, she had written "not me" on it. So I think that's
pick up on that.
That's the real Nikki coming through. But while he sat there eating this sandwich, Sarah nicks the box lid, flips over the post-it note that says "to my food critic," and on the back it says, "Do you like the cat?"
Yeah, like, what's your verdict? Cat.
Cat.
What does she mean? Cat. What's the joke? And it's like Bear's like, you just see Bear go white and looks at the meat as well, and it's like fucking from a gopping steak. He's like, oh, and then he just starts being sick. And then the next thing he says, because he'd already said it earlier on in that particular scene regarding it being an inside joke with the photos. So, inside joke. I'm like, even now at this point, how are you not like stepping up and be like, shit, she's cooked my fucking cat?
She's cooked my cat. Like, it's just mind-bendingly terrifying, because there are people out there who would do this to someone. Like, there are people this level crazy obsessed. Ian gives him a lift home and gives him another lecture about being weird, and he's like, look, dude, I'll tell you what, I'm having a boys' night tonight. Tell her you're coming out with the boys, and it'll be absolutely fine. And if you've got a healthy relationship like you claim and everything's fine, you're going to come out with the boys. She's going to say, no worries, and she's going to stay in and watch TV. And Bear's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Now, to be fair, this is a very relatable scene. There has been many instances in my life where I've had to sit in the car and be like, right, just go in. Just tell her that's what you're doing. Just say it. I'm going out with the boys. I'll be home when I'm home. I'm turning my phone off. You don't need to ring me. I'm safe. And then the conversation's played out very differently when I've walked through the door.
Yeah, it is. Excuse me, love. Is it okay if I go out tonight? I've been invited and it's someone's birthday, and I don't necessarily want to go, but I think
Yeah,
it'd be really important that
I've played the whole, oh God, I can't believe it. The lads are all meeting up tonight. She's like, oh, you should go. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave you. I'd rather be here with you. What a burden this is to have to go out with her. But no, honestly, you should go. Go have fun. Are you sure? Because I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to go. Are you sure you want me to go?
if you're going to make me go, I'll go. But Bear even resorts to calling the One Wish Willow helpline before he goes in to talk to Nikki. And he picks it, like phone rings, the bloke just goes, hello. And Bear's like, is this the One Wish Willow? He's like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah. He's like, do you want to cancel your wish? She's like, no. Like, can I tweak my wish? Like, no, we don't do that. He's like, he's like, well, how long will the wish last? He's like, till you die. He's like, okay, can I cancel my wish? And the bloke's like, no, we don't do that either. He's like, but you just offered. He's like, yeah, but we don't do that. He's like, right, well, I don't know what to do. He's like, well, do you want to talk to Nikki? And it just cuts to this like screaming. Oh, mate, it's the most harrowing, awful. Oh,
yeah. And this is a moment for me in the movie where like everything just switched. You know, everything that I thought up until this point just changed entirely, purely based on the fact that I never separated the two. Like, even though you get those instances when real Nikki comes through,
yeah,
I never had this vision of her being trapped like a Get Out kind of moment where you fall in the sofa and you're watching it from behind in the fucking stratosphere kind of thing.
yeah.
And the fact that Nikki's there watching this all unfold unwillingly, the sexual scenes, like you say, are just 10 times worse by this point. And every action fake Nikki is committing, all I see from this point on is a real Nikki behind just screaming like, no, you know, and it's like, it's brutal as shit, man. And it really just changes the whole narrative of the movie. And it just flips it. It flips it completely on its head, and it's fantastic for doing so. And it's such a subtle thing to introduce, unnecessarily as well. I think the movie works either way. I don't think it needed to be there, but the fact that it did just amplified it so much, in my opinion.
Yeah, having it there dialed it up to 11. Like having that there, the next scenes when he goes indoors and he like first thing he's greeted by is Nikki in a puddle of piss and shit. She's like, oh hi, I was just waiting for you. I ate a bug. I'm gonna go and have a shower and they're gonna clean that up. And then what we do, and he's like, and she's in the bathroom. He's like, yeah, well, Ian's having a boys' night. And she just screams and starts banging stuff. He's like, she's like, I'll get ready and come with you. It's like, it's just for the boys. It's like, bang, bang, bang. He's like, well, Sarah's not going. And she's like, yeah, Sarah's definitely going. He's like, well, if Sarah's going, do you want to go? And it is the biggest, again, cowardly man just crumbled under the pressure. Went, okay, I'll take you for an easy life.
Yeah, and then it immediately cuts to Ian being like, you're such a pussy. I knew you would bring her.
The party game, like they're playing this massive game of Jenga, and every time you pull a Jenga block out, it's got a thing to do. So Nikki had to swap places with someone, and she sits the other side, and they keep playing this game, and you get the Bear pulls one out. It's like, kiss the person to your left, and Sarah's
before Bear does that though, Nikki's is fucking brilliant. I don't know what Nikki's actually said, but she reads a segment from a book she's writing, and it's the most erotic Hansel and Gretel story I've ever heard in my life, and she delivers it flawlessly. You know, this woman does an outstanding job throughout the entirety of this movie with the facial expressions and everything she does in order to amplify this movie to another level. But I was so engrossed by her monologue here, just delivering this simple story. I was like, wow, you were actually an incredible actor. Like, how on earth has Corey Barker managed to get you? And don't get me wrong, I don't know the fate of this actress before this movie, but I know she is now going to be something. Like she's going to be a name that we're all going to be talking about for the next 20 plus years.
Without a doubt. And I wouldn't even be surprised if she managed to get big nominations for this. Maybe not Oscars, because I don't know if Obsession would put in for Oscars, but there will be awards for this movie. And anyone she's nominated for, she's winning without even trying.
Oh, immediately. And I hope with all my hopes that this does get Oscar bait and she does go down that road, because I think given what she's done here, she deserves it. Like, I've seen Hollywood spectacles with less convincing performances than what she's done on this micro budget movie. She was outstanding.
Tony Collette levels of delivery.
I mean, to be honest with you, I've listened to interviews with Curry Barker and stuff like that, and he said one of his biggest influences was movies. And it's really weird. It really made me feel old watching some of the interviews with Curry Barker, because he is a young bloke. He's only 24. And he's like, oh yeah, like, so what's like some of your like nostalgia favorites? What's your favorite nostalgic comedy movie? And he's like, oh yeah, 21 Jump Street. I'm like, dude, I was 30 when that movie came out.
That's a new movie. That's only just come out. What are you on about?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I remember growing up loving 21 Jump Street. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking hate you so much. And he's like, so what are some of your favorite classic horror movies? And he's like, yeah, I really like Hereditary. And I'm like, fuck you, man.
I think when we covered Hereditary, we referred to it as a modern masterpiece.
And to this day, I still do. It's like, what's some of your favorite modern horror movies? And I'm like, Hereditary. And it's like, no, this dude's talking about it like it's a thing of the past, like a tape player.
He's talking about it the same way we talk about the original Hellraiser or The Exorcist.
Yeah, and I'm expecting this dude to rock up and like, yeah, I fucking love John Carpenter's Halloween, and what he did with The Thing was outstanding. He's like, yeah, back in Ari Aster's heyday. I'm like, fuck you.
This Jenga block that says kiss the person on your left. This is the most uncomfortable I felt in the entire movie. He turns to his left and Sarah's there. And there's this look from Nikki, and Nikki gets up. Everyone watches her as she walks around the very big coffee table behind Sarah and very casually drags her chair out of the way, leaves her sat in the middle of the room, sits down and just like squats and just puckers up. Like, Bear kisses her, and then she delivers basically a Bear is my man. You all fucking leave him alone. Everyone's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm only kidding. Or am I? And it fucking cracked me up. It was I'm
not. Fuck it, deal with it.
Yeah, she went, or am I? And then everyone's like, oh, and there was a bit where people were going to laugh. She went, I'm not. I'm not. Bear's my man. Leave him.
And again, so in this next scene, is this Nikki coming through?
I don't know. So the bit where she just fucking smashes herself in the face with a bottle.
I think this is a scene where Nikki comes through again. Like, it's almost, and again, it's even more harrowing because it shows the determination and the willpower for her to fight back in this prison that she's trapped in. For me, the way I perceive it anyway, is this is Nikki coming through and she's fighting through. And in order to she's trying to kill herself, basically. She's trying to stop it, and then she just smashes a beer bottle on the table, stabs it straight in her face. And I'm like, oh shit. And then she goes again. I'm like, oh no, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
And the thing is, like, they take her to the hospital and she won't get out of the car because she doesn't want to be separated from Bear. And you see that the paramedics sort of go, dude, I can't help you. Like, if she's not coming in, there's nothing I can do. And Bear takes her home. And they have this big argument about Bear's like, you need to stop being fucking weird. Like, it's creeping everyone out. It's freaking me out. And she's like, I'm really sorry. I'll stop doing it now. Like, I'm really sorry. It won't happen again. I love you more than anything in the world. And Bear's like, I am going to stay at Ian's tonight. It's like, I am done. And she literally gives like this monologue stood in the shadow of a doorway going, well, you could go and I would go to bed warm. And she's holding a kitchen knife. She's like, but slowly my hands would get heavy and I would start to turn cold and the life would
infusion. So she's basically talking about setting herself on fire in bed.
Yeah. And this is where Bear's like, do you know what? I'm just going to stay. He's like, I can't be doing with this. I'm going to stay. And they go to bed.
Well, no, this is where we get that really cool scene where like she like fucking charges at him.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm terrified, Nikki. You're scaring me. You're scaring me." And then she's like, "Pugh!" And I'm like, "Whoa, shit!" And then they're like, she does this weird reverse thing.
Walking backwards, shit's creeped me out.
Oh, creepy as shit, man. And he's just there, like terrified on the floor, like up against the wall, like, what the fuck? This is so good. This is one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie.
I love all of this. Like they eventually go to bed and she falls asleep. And this is where I want to say that Sarah's a bit of an arsehole. So Sarah texts Bear, which for all sense and purposes, Bear is now with Nikki. They've been established, they've been together for a while. Sarah is texting Bear because she likes Bear. And if she's meant to be a really close friend of Nikki, that is some crazy behavior for that friend group.
We've all been there, though, dude. We've all been there.
Yeah, we have. Bear decides he's going to go and meet Sarah because Sarah's like, well, if you're not going to come to meet me, I'm coming to you. And Bear has the realization of, no, you definitely
here to this fucking hellhole like she's trashed.
you cannot come here. So he goes out. So he gets up to go out to meet her. And this is where Nikki wakes up. And he's like, I'm just going to the toilet. And she's like, kill me. And he's like, what? She's like, kill me. I can't do it anymore. Please don't make too much noise. Don't wake her up. Just kill me. And Bear, what the fuck? Not like, oh, I feel really bad. He's like, what's so bad about being with me? I'm like, you are an absolute cunt. I hate you right now.
Yeah, this was a moment for me. Like, he was irredeemable at this point, in my opinion. You know, there was so much up until here that he could have put down to disbelief of the one Wish Willow. But from this point on, it's just like, yeah, dude. Yeah, there is no turning back from you at this point. Like she's clearly like there's no way that you can separate reality from fiction. Like she is clearly talking to you right now and telling you, I'm trapped inside this body. You're being a rapey little cunt. Just fucking kill me because I don't want to have to endure it anymore.
Yeah, and his response is, well, is it that bad? Like, yeah. You're fucking missing the point. You fucking dickhead.
Like, this isn't going to stand up in court, Bear. Just fucking stop.
Yeah, in court going, well, I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know what her problem was. Like, what the fuck?
I'm a good guy, really. I promise.
Also, there was something I noticed in this scene, and then on the first watch, and then on my rewatches, I noticed it again in lots of other scenes. That every time Nikki comes through, she twitches. So when real Nikki is talking, the body convulses and twitches. And I wasn't sure if it was done on purpose. And then I found an interview with Indy, and she's like, yeah, so I wanted there to be something that was distinguishing when it was real Nikki beyond it being like real Nikki in voice. So I developed a tick and a twitch. So when it's real Nikki, I'm almost convulsing, like the body's trying to fight me out. And I was like, that's so cool. And it's so subtle. Like I spotted it in this scene and I didn't see it anywhere else. And then when I went back
to go back now again and watch like the scene at the Ian's house where she stabs a bottle if she's convulsing in that moment and stuff like that. Like that's cool to know that. Because this is a movie where it's like, I'm not one and done. Like I'm watching this as soon as it comes to streaming. I might even go to cinema again to watch it, you know?
Yeah, because there's so much in this. Ian goes to meet Sarah and they're going to open her graduation letter. And Sarah's like, look, I'm really worried about you. I think Nikki's leaning on you too much. Like, you need to take like a bit of a break. And also, Ian's been fucking Nikki for the last 2 years, but didn't want to tell you because he didn't want to hurt your feelings. And he's like, oh, she's like, you need someone who's more chill. And he's like, someone like you. She's like, well, yeah. And then fucking Nikki.
Before she does, she's like, I've always been on your left. Now, she always has throughout this entirety of this movie.
Nikki's always on the right.
Nikki's always on the right. In every single scene, Nikki is always on Bear's right. And Sarah is always on his left. And I picked up on it on the second watch. Purely based on this scene, to be honest with you. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's got to have a bigger meaning. And then when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that is actually a thing. Like throughout the entirety of the movie, Nikki's always on the right, Sarah's always on the left. Now, I don't know what the left and the right is in terms of the good and the evil, do you know, like the devil on your shoulder, but I have to assume they're on the right side, as in like Sarah's the angel, Nikki's the devil.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. If anyone knows, call into the show. We'll tell you how to do that later. This scene, one, it made me jump because I didn't expect it. Like, this is the only jump scare that got me, like really got me. And also, I was not expecting the level of brutality as Nikki punches through the window with a brick, holds the brick on the steering wheel, and repeatedly smashes Sarah's face in it till it's mush.
Yeah, brutal as shit. This one got me bad.
Like, it blew me away. I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And Bear's in the corner, like with his hand, he's like almost Ned Flandering with his hands in the air going, ah.
Yeah, just shocked, just in pure shock by the situation. And then the next scene happens where like
it's,
go on.
It's before we go to the next scene. Nikki's like, Bear, I know you're freaking out a little bit now, but I just want you to know this is all your fault. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's so rough.
And that's it. There's a constant emotional manipulation back and forth throughout the entirety of this movie that transpires so well. But it's this next scene that really fucking gets me. It's like they put Sarah in the back of the car and they drive to obviously the Radio Shack place. Nikki's like, yeah, I've got it from here. You go home. I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Bear gets into the car and he has that because him and Sarah are having the conversation about the letter. It was a letter. She was about to open the letter to find out whether she made it into college. Would you open that letter? Like, does that make the situation any better or any worse to the point where you're like that curious to be like,
no. See, he opens the letter and it says she got in, and that's what causes him to have the meltdown and cry and scream. I would have already been crying and screaming. I would have forgotten all about the letter because I just saw one of my friends who I actually kind of have feelings for, and I knew she liked me, get bludgeoned to death an inch from my face. Like, that would be what would tip me over the edge.
Yeah, I just didn't get the letter opening thing. Like, I get it from a point of like emotional development in terms of like to us as an audience, but I'm like, I wouldn't open that letter. I would be in a state of conflict of being like, all right, like, is it better for me that she didn't get in? We've cut her life short.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't think there was a huge amount of significance to it, but it works. It's one of those bits where I'm going to quote you, movie's got a movie.
No, I don't even think it's that. I don't think it's that. You know, I do feel like it has relevance and importance to Bear's emotional meltdown in the situation, but it wasn't necessarily the purpose of it being there that I'm questioning. It's just Bear's actions to open it that I'm questioning.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. What is not a weird choice that I thought was really good is Bear goes back to the shop and he's like, I need one Wish Willows. And he tries to find them. They're not where they thought he was. And the guy in the store's like,
brilliant. Again, fire dynamic.
Just like, dude, calm down. He's like, I need, how do I bring, like, the bloke's like, what have you
bring
done?
that energy here. You cannot bring that energy here, my friend. And again, he's right. You can't bring that energy to a crystal shop.
You can't. And the thing is, there's one thing I noticed that is important, and I'm going to mention it now and then I'm going to bring it up later. There are one Wish Willows left, and Bear buys them all.
Yep.
There's 3.
There are
3. No, he buys 3. There are 3 in the pack. He put in the stand, and he picks all 3 of them up.
Yeah,
he buys 3, and that's important. And I'll tell you why that's important when we get to the end. So he gets the 3 wishes, and he gets back in his car because the bloke goes, "Well, you could get someone else to wish for like Nikki to be normal, and you'd be cool." And he gets in the car and he tries to do the wish himself, and it won't snap. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then he drives to Ian's house and tries explaining it to Ian, and they have a massive row. And he's like, look, please, Ian, like, even if you don't believe me, just humor me. Take the stick, wish that I'd never made a wish, snap it, like, be very specific in what you say, snap it. And if everything goes like back to normal, great. It really works. And Ian's like, really? Snap. I wish I had $1 billion. I'm like, oh, you dickhead.
No, Ian's right. It's exactly what I would do. But again, like I mentioned earlier in my pre roundup, this was one of the moments that slightly pulled me out of the movie. And this is, if you're a fan of Curry Barker, and I can't remember Cooper's name, it's Curry and Cooper. They have the Facebook page where this is a bad idea, and they do skits and stuff like that. This particular scene felt like a skit to me, and it was very distracting from the overall intensity of the rest of the movie. So like,
yeah,
it wasn't the fact that it was like sort of, yeah, I would wish for $1 billion, but it just felt very skitty, like a comedy sketch bit, you know, and all the money started raining down from the ceiling. I was like, yeah, I get it, you know, but like, did it need it?
It didn't need it, but I did like it. I liked it because it fully cemented Ian as a dickhead for me, but also just the defeat. You just see all the life drain out of Bear. He's like, that's all I had left. Well, I guess I'm going home to Nikki now. And he does. And he goes back to Nikki, and Nikki is like another level crazy, complete with a handgun this time. And she's like, we could be together. He's like, I just want the real Nikki. She's like, I could be Nikki. I could do Nikki. And then she like starts talking all softly. And like when they were at Ian's like, I keep getting texts from Sarah, like, what the fuck's going on? Telling me to go to your house. And then Ian busts in the door, and without missing a beat and without even looking, Nikki just points the gun and shoots him straight through the forehead. And then like without even missing a beat, it goes back to, I could beat Nikki. Almost like he was an inconvenience to the situation.
Brilliance of it is when Ian's banging on the door. It's like, Bear, what the fuck are you doing? I've got $1 billion.
I know I've been a dick, but like everything's solved now. It's fine. He bursts in, just like, you're dead. Thanks for coming. Goodbye. This ending, I really like it. I really like this ending. So he manages to calm Nikki down by telling her that he really, really loves her and they're going to be together forever. And they're laying on the sofa. She's like, do you really, really love me? He's like, yes, I do. And he shakes his head as he says
He doesn't though. That's
Does
the
he
thing.
not?
No, the second time I watched it, he doesn't shake his head. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, I didn't pay attention enough to know. But the second time, I was like, I knew it was coming. And I was like, I want to see the reaction from Bear, which causes her to then be like, you shook your head. He didn't, in my
Did he
opinion.
not?
In my opinion, he didn't. You know, I don't think he did.
She thinks he did, and he runs off into the toilet, and like he's decided he's going to end it because he knows that's how to do the wish. He goes the pills route, but I did
the build up with him with the gun though is pretty good. He's like holding it. He's like,
he's trying to work out.
Just pull it, man. Just stop being a pussy and pull that trigger.
Again, shows how cowardly he is. But he takes all the pills, and he even bottles that, and he's like, goes to put his fingers down his throat to like throw them all up.
All you hear is he's riding that unicorn by that point.
You hear the snap. You hear the
What's the snap? What's the snap?
Nikki snapped to the one Wish Willow, which is why he gets up and comes out, because she wished for him to love her.
I didn't pick up on that at any point.
So you hear the snap of the one Wish Willow. He comes out and he's like, oh, Nikki. And they start like cuddling, and then he dies. And she's he also died the same way as his cat on his living room floor after ingesting loads of depression and sleeping pills. But she's cuddling and she's crying and screaming, and she sticks the gun in her mouth. When real Nikki comes back through, and she goes, oh my God, I've got a gun in my mouth, and then looks around and there's like blood and fucking bodies and shit everywhere. Also, she's got Sarah displayed in the other room with her face mangled and her boobs out.
Yeah, fully naked, like bush hair and everything.
Yeah. This moment where she like wakes up and realizes what's happened, and she's looking around, all that went through my head is, you are going to prison forever.
Yeah. Psych ward. Psych ward.
Forever and ever. Curry Barker has said that his next film, Anything But Ghosts, is set in the same universe and will feature a news report that reveals the fate of Nikki.
Yeah, it's set in the same universe, but it'll just be literally a 2-second thing on the news.
It will do.
No, because you're annoying me now, because you said the 3 Wish Willow thing.
Yeah,
so like it's bothering me, and I need to, because I have a thing in my mind where I'm like, 3, 1, he tried to break in the car,
which he couldn't break. So
but
it's
I don't
still
feel like
intact.
that's reusable because like he didn't get it. It's out the box. The
Uh,
one
see-
that he took to Ian's.
Ian snapped one. Nikki snapped one. There is one left. There is
Yeah,
one.
but which you do
Wish.
see that as the camera pans out. So
Yeah,
the reason why I'm saying that is because I didn't pick up on the Nikki snapping one thing.
yeah. Nikki.
I just
Nikki
thought that
snapped-
was him on his like drug tranquil mindset
No,
thing from
so-
the pills that he takes.
No, Nikki snapped one at the end, which is why he comes out and like cuddles her and he's all smiley and happy. But yeah, I want to quickly, before we move on, because this episode's going to be about 11 hours long. Nikki is a cat. She is the soul of Bear's cat. So Bear wishes for someone to love him more than anyone else in the whole world. And Bear's cat loved him more than anyone else in the whole world. Nikki has got glazy, shiny eyes like a cat. She watches him while he sleeps like a cat. She brings him dead things as gifts like a cat. She presents him with the dead cat at the beginning. She presents him with the dead Sarah in the chair at the end. Nikki's a cat. That's what I take from this movie. Nikki is the dead cat.
Yeah, I don't like that, but I don't like cats. So
I think we've covered probably more than we ever do because this film is amazing. It's flawless. It's a young new director who's got new ideas that, honestly, coupled with standout performances, I'm super excited to see anything else Curry Barker brings to the table.
yeah,
5 out of 5. Go watch Obsession.
yep, definitely couldn't agree with you more. It's a flawless film. I know I've criticized a few little bits, but it's still a flawless film. Curry Barker is now set to direct the remake for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All in.
I could not think of anybody better to helm it. Now, I'm going to hold back reservations to see what his next movie is, which is Nothing But Ghosts, was it that you said?
Anything But Ghosts.
Anything That's Ghosts, which has got Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman, and Dallas Bryce Howard. I think it's going to lean. I think that movie's going to lean more into the comedy.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think that's going to be more of a horror comedy than it is an outright horror movie. And I hope that doesn't scupper his trajectory, because horror comedy is something that's very subjective. And I feel like going so quickly into something like that with your secondary movie, given the hype of your first, the comedy's not going to land with everybody.
No, I think there's enough elements of comedy throughout this, though. There was lots of bits in this where I laughed, uncomfortable laughs, and if he can carry that kind of comedy into his next movie, I think it'll work. But it needs to be, like, a lot of times I laughed in this. I laughed and almost checked myself as like, I shouldn't be laughing at this. It's really bad, but I found it funny.
Yeah, which is what I was saying earlier about his comedy skits that he does on Facebook. They're very littered with dark humor, and I just worry. But then the thing is like when you see the reason why I worry is because when you put a cast together like Aaron Paul and Dallas Bryce, the chick from the new Jurassic Park movies, like immediately I'm like, it's like one of those movies where like the guy from Stranger Things, Hopper, did that ghost movie. That's all I'm envisioning in my mind, where it's just like a really shitty fucking horror comedy that went to Netflix.
I liked it.
Yeah, but like that's where my mindset is with that next movie coming from Curry Barker. And again, I like the fact that it's like that because when I go to see it and it is incredible, I can stand here and be like, wow, that's amazing. Rather than going in with the hype and expectations and then being disappointed by it. I'm in a place right now where I'm like, dude, wrong choice, wrong call for your next movie. But I hope I'm proven wrong. But even if that movie is an absolute flop, I think his take on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be nothing short of exceptional.
Yeah, I agree. We have a lot of voicemails today, so we'll just kick off with the 11-hour voicemail from Heather.
Okay, this is going to be really late for you guys. Of course, listen to it at your own leisure. You probably will not be listening to it right now. I just have to say these things before I forget because I just am finishing up. Like, I think I have a couple of minutes left of the Halloween 3 episode because I'm super behind on the You Run podcast horror movie review shows. Anyways, I want to say see if I can sum this up and not make the message too long for Mr. Mark. So, Mark, I know you thought that I would like come at you over Tom Atkins. You're wrong. You don't know me that well, I guess. I do like Tom Atkins. I do not like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I don't give a flying fuck if they're like, Michael's in it, he's on the TV. It's like, no, bitch, he's not actually in the fucking movie. The movie has nothing to do with him, and it's garbage. Okay? It's fucking hot garbage water with Dookie. Like, it's so dumb. I had to use, like, a 12-year-old boy's descriptor of how stupid that movie is. Scott, I got something to say to you in a few minutes. But anyways, Mark, I do agree with basically everything you said. Like, Tom Atkins, yeah, he comes across as this like weirdo pedophile, but honestly, she threw her cat at him and she was of consenting age. It is gross. Like, I'm not into like older men, and I guess if I were a 25-year-old woman, I wouldn't want to be with a 50-year-old guy. But at the same time, it is gross. It's not a preference. But, like, he's not a pedophile. He's just, like, a sleazy dude. And it's the fucking 80s, okay? Also, he is not the most attractive man. No, not even in his prime. But, I met him a few years ago. He is super, super nice. He's obviously in his, like, 70s, late 70s, I believe, mid to late 70s. Super sweet, right? So I love Night of the Creeps, and I will forever, that's actually a tattoo that I'm getting with Thrill Me on it, because I love, it's iconic. But, like, the rest of his stuff and Halloween 3 Season of the Garbage, no. I hate to say this, and I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this on a recorded audio message, but Rob Zombie would be so good at making his rendition, let's not say a remake, just putting his spin on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It would be, that's like right up his ass. Like, he could do it. You know, I'm not a huge Halloween fan, but, like, I do like the movies. They just don't hold as much nostalgia for me. Nostalgia? Oh, my God. Anyways, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Scott, oh, wait, no, I don't. Scott, you're fucking insane. You know this movie's not a 5 out of 5, and anybody that says it's a 5 out of 5 is doing it either to just rage bait or to be like, oh, it's pop culture. Like, no, it's not. It's stupid. I mean, it's not the worst movie. I would give it like a 1 out of 5 like Mark. It's not the worst movie, but it does not belong in the Halloween. It's just, oh my God. Halloween 4, H2O, are my top 2 faves ever. Josh Hartnett, so fine. Don't care if his haircut looks like somebody cut it blind. I don't care. Anyways, this message is going on really long. Scott, congratulations again on the wedding. Look at you. That's a 5 out of 5. The fucking Halloween 3 is not. Your wedding to Lisa is. Okay, anyway, guys, take care. Love y'all. Bye.
I think me and Heather have just become best friends.
I don't know what happened. I feel so betrayed on so many different levels multiple times throughout that message. But yeah,
that was the nicest message Heather has ever sent to me on the show.
Yeah, it's blown my mind. Heather's turned on me. The worm has turned. Damn it. Right, let's keep rolling.
Right, I've just finished combat. I'm trying to catch up. I'm so far behind. What a great episode, guys. That was fantastic. Jeepers the Losers, double. Awesome show.
Does this dude just purposefully go to the beach to record messages?
I think he does, but he's back anyway. Hold on.
Scott, this is a personal one just for you. Obviously, I know your wedding's coming or just been or whatever because I'm so far behind. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But Eva, congratulations. Good luck, fella.
Thank you very much.
Right, so now I'm starting the You and Extra episode. And I'd like to make a listener request because I, like Mark, have also been looking for a reason to watch Dr. Sleep. I've not seen it yet. And it just seems like the perfect way to do it. So yeah, on request we have Dr. Sleep. I know you've done it before, but obviously we haven't done it with Mark, so I think it's time.
It doesn't count if it's not done with me anyway.
No, and I've made the decision that we're going to do our first ever You Run Extra episode where we're going to do the news bit we do at the beginning. Then we're going to give just the review bit. We're going to review Dr. Sleep exclusively on Patreon.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and like I say, I've been holding out for a reason to watch that movie. So yeah, let's fucking do it, man. Fire.
Yeah. Let's do that. We still have some messages. So who's this? I didn't label them. I'm just clicking buttons.
Oh, also forgot to add Dick Warlock, which is kind of a funny, cool name. At a horror convention years ago, I think it was the last year I ever went. It was the year I got pregnant with Campbell. But my mom met Dick Warlock, and he kissed her on the mouth. I remember that convention I wasn't feeling well because, found out I was pregnant like the next week after we got back. But it had me cracking up because my mom and my friend at the time, they came up to the room and they were like, oh my God, your mom's got a boyfriend. Like my friend was like, oh, your mom's got a new man. And I'm like, what? And so she went to the table to meet Dick Warlock and get his autograph and get a photo with him. And he like grabbed her by the face. He like kissed her on the mouth. And I was like, what the fuck? Like literally kissed my mother on her mouth. Anyways, he is still alive. You guys, Scott, I'm going to come for you because you need to make sure, you need to fact check your shit. Stop saying like, I don't know if he's dead. Girl, he is not dead. I mean, he's old. He's like probably in his 80s. But come on now, don't be acting like that. You scared me for a minute. I had to go and double check. But no, he's alive. Okay, get your shit together. Bye.
In Scott's defense, it was me who actually questioned the aliveability of Dick Warlock, and Scott just kind of was unprepared for the need to fact check it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't check to see who was alive and dead in this cast.
No. So it was me who was questioning his aliveability. But yeah, it's Dick Warlock. The guy is called Dick Warlock. If Dick Warlock wants to grab your mother by the face and kiss her on the lips, that is what he will do. And to be honest with you, I'm contemplating changing my name. I feel like I could pull Dick Warlock off. I feel like if I was called Dick Warlock, I could pull it off.
You feel like you could pull Dick Warlock off?
No.
No,
Not in that context. But I mean, like, if you was like, hey, hi, welcome to the You Run podcast. My name's Scott, and this is my co-host, Dick Warlock. I would live for that shit.
I'm going to go Homer Simpson and rename myself Max Powers. Max Powers and Dick Warlock. Right, we've got two more.
Hey, Scott. I know you got a lot going on. First off, congratulations and many happy years of commitment and servitude. But as I'm listening to the episode, the part I laughed so hard I had to pull over was when you said a volunteer's tribute for the Sonya Blade finisher. And then, that was great enough, when Marc says, I'm going to do this to you without missing a beat. Perfection. Comedy gold. Thank you for that. Whenever you get this, I was laughing so hard I had to pull over. Thank you guys for making my drive home hilarious.
You never done that to me at the wedding either, like you promised.
No, I do apologize.
Maybe if I love a horror next year, we'll make a thing of it.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll probably end up actually breaking my neck, and all that will happen is Jim will be in the background going, fatality. Right, last message.
Hi guys, I've just finished listening to your Halloween 3 episode. Thank you, you kept me entertained while I was driving up to Sheffield. I know I upset you with my little 2-word review, Scott, but I'm definitely on Mark's side with this film. I think back when I reviewed it, I just started my page. I was probably a bit nicer than I wanted to be because I knew people would hate me. But yeah, I never got the love for this film. And I agree about Tom Atkins as well. Complete pedo in this film.
Dodgy fuck.
I do have issues, Scott, with things you said. Now I'm all one for rating a bad movie 5 stars. If it's a movie you love and have nostalgia for, and you enjoy it, then, you know, I've done that many a time, given it a 5 out of 5, even though I know it's a bad film. But you cannot say it's a perfect film when you've also been bringing up things that are not good about it, the words that came out of your mouth. So you can't say it's perfect, but 5 out of 5 is fine, even though I disagree. Hope you had a great wedding. Bye.
Yeah, sack him, Beck. Piece of shit he is.
I'm going to say it now. Halloween 3 is a perfect movie, and it's a 5 out of 5, and it's inherently flawed. Right,
it don't work. It don't work, dude. It don't work. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I score an enjoyment. I can do whatever I want. It's the You Run podcast. It's my show and your show. I can do whatever I want. Right. What?
Hellfire.
What's that?
This is
It looks like the carpet from The Shining. What is that?
Carolina Reaper and Habanero IPA. That is the spiciest shit I've ever drank in my life.
Well, no shit. A Carolina Reaper beer, and you're like, I'm more surprised you're shocked that a Carolina Reaper beer is spicy.
I supped it like it was a normal beer.
I wished you hadn't.
And then blew my nostrils out. That is a tasty beer.
Right, let's dive into 3-word review. This is where you get the chance across all of our social medias to review the movie in 3-word only. We didn't get a lot this week, to be fair. Facebook, we had Becky, who you just heard from. I Am Obsessed. We got John, who went for Gen Y. I don't really agree with that because
What's Gen Y mean?
The younger generation. Basically saying it's for the young kids, not for us oldies.
Ah, bullshit.
Yeah. Slasher, we got Movie Man, Perfect Wish Demonstration. Yeah, perfect wish demonstration for wish going wrong. Threads, The Sawyer Green, Haunting, Complex and Powerful. Yeah. AJI3PO went with Sandy Hates Sarah. I didn't get
Sandy?
it. The cat.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. Unless he thinks like I do that Nikki is Sandy. Maybe.
Nobody thinks
it. Instagram, Mike the Movie Misfit went with Money Well Spent, which, yeah, $750,000 budget produced 229 million at the moment. Yeah. Where's the horror section? Autonomy is Sacred. Jaden the Colson, really, really good. And Movies for Days, bringing it back down to the level that we expect. We don't want these Ponzi reviews. Just went with Kitty Cat Sandwich. If you want to leave a 3-word review, you could do that on across all of our social medias every single week. There's a movie poster, says review this movie in 3 words only. Do that. We'll pick the best ones. You can hear yourself on the show. Let's play a game. I said we were going to play a game. It's a game I attempted on social media. And when I done this on social media, it got really silly, really fast. And I kind of abandoned it. I didn't delete the post. I just stopped replying to people. So I've decided to bring it here because Mark is obviously much more sensible and level-headed than the people on the internet.
Really?
So how this is going to work, Mark, is you were going to make a wish.
Right.
You can wish for anything you want. You have a 1 Wish Willow in your hand.
Yeah.
And I am going to sit here and I am going to fully 1 Wish Willow the shit out of whatever you wish for and fuck it up. We'll play this until we either get bored or you come up with a wish that is unfuckable. And I'm pretty confident I can fuck up any wish you've got.
All right. Okay. Well, let's keep in tradition with the podcast then. Let's keep in tradition with what we've done with the show so far. So my first wish is I wish for $1 billion.
Okay. That's so easy to fuck up. You get $1 billion. You become incredibly rich. You can buy all the things you want. However, because everything is so easy to obtain, you lose all your self-motivation and drive. You become depressed and miserable, and nothing motivates you anymore. And you end up dying in a puddle of your own piss because you're so sad, crying in a corner.
I don't feel like I would be with $1 billion.
I don't think you would be either, but that's how I fucked your wish
right,
up.
okay, all right, yeah, okay. So I've got to stretch imagination for this as well, have I? Right, okay. My secondary wish is I wish for eternal life.
That's easy to fuck up.
On,
you wish for eternal life forever and ever and ever.
And ever and ever and ever.
And
like vampire level quality, eternal life.
Like Scotchguard and Ariston, like that.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have lived for 100 million years.
Yep.
Civilization has died. There is nothing left. The universe has ended, and you're just there, floating in space alone.
Well, yeah, when you put it like that, that's depressing as shit.
Fucking ruined. Like, you live forever. The entire universe has ended, and you're still there, just bobbing about in the darkness.
Yeah, all right, that's not a great one. I wish for eternal happiness.
Ooh. Okay. That's harder. Okay, so your eternal happiness is just for your happiness.
Yep.
And unfortunately, your happiness does not always align with the happiness of your loved ones. So your happiness, for example, on a Friday night, maybe going down the pub and getting drunk, coming home and doing what you want to do when you get in, watch a couple of movies. But that in her turn upsets your wife, it upsets your friends, because your happiness when you've had a bad week is not necessarily sitting here with me. You get kicked off the show, you get divorced. You're happy, but everyone else in your life is fucking miserable.
But am I happy?
You're happy, yeah, because you've got eternal happiness. Fuck 'em. In which case, you found the unfuckable wish because you're so selfish. It's untrue.
I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Right, it's that time. It's my favorite part of the show because I get to hand the reins to someone else.
He's the king of the spool, the lord of the stack. If it's on magnetic tape, there's no turning back. From the floor to the ceiling, he's a mastermind hoarder, keeping analog alive on the edge of the border. Rewind, the night under the static flip. It's Marc, VHS from the crypt.
Don't.
Sorry, I don't have my applause this week. I'll clap for you. There you go.
Cheers, mate. Much appreciated as always. Thank you very much for participating, Scott. So this week, the immediate movie that I wanted to go with was Fatal Attraction. Now, I don't own Fatal Attraction, so I have made my own Fatal Attraction version that probably is more encompassing of this movie anyway. So I have gone with Misery.
Yeah, that works.
Paired with, because Misery doesn't work on its own. Misery paired with Wishmaster. I always struggle to get the lighting right to
Tip
be able
them
to
that way.
Tip them that way.
There we go.
There we go. So there we go. We have Stephen King's classic Misery, which without a doubt relates to this movie entirely. And then, of course, if you inject a bit of Wes Craven's Wishmaster into that, you have the perfect pairing for Obsession, which is Misery plus Wishmaster. Now, fantastic copies of movies. Both of these are obviously, as always, ex-rental releases. Wishmaster's an interesting series, something that we haven't touched upon on this show yet, which I hope we do in the future. Scott, start chucking some Wishmaster movies into the polls. I'd really like to dive into them, especially the first, because the first is a really, really good movie. And I think, in fact, if we do the first movie, I have to request that Heather come on for that, because this is a Heather movie. Wishmaster. This is 100% a Heather movie.
Yeah.
And what's most shocking about the fact that I'm introducing Misery on this segment is all of the seasons we have covered. How many years have we been doing this now?
Show's been going 5. You've been here 6. You've been here 5.
How have we not touched upon Misery throughout the winter?
I have covered Misery with Heather, funnily enough.
Right, well, fuck you before I came on. How have I not covered Misery?
I don't know. Me and Heather done it. I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd episode that Heather come on for. We done Misery.
Was this before? Was this one of the ones that I was supposed to be there for, but then just didn't?
No, this is before you joined the show. This was like season 1, 2. It was like really early. When we used to do seasons, we had 10 episodes a season.
What? So what you're saying is Heather's better than me? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not after the fucking message she sent today. No, definitely not.
Right. Well, I want Misery on the show purely because it's a fantastic movie and I'd love to talk about it. But
Should we Well, I'll tell you what, you go back through our old episodes, pick out 16 that you want, no, 8 that you want, send them to me, and we'll do a revisited.
Do you know what's the weirdest thing though? Is like for me at this stage, like I'm like, Scott's only got like 6 episodes out before I joined anyway.
No, I think we had like 35, 40 episodes out. We're like almost 300 episodes now in.
Yeah, yeah, we're deep into it now. But like to me, like I remember listening to the show before I even came a part of it. But then, like, since being a part of it and the dynamic we have now and the show to what it's turned out to be, like, I can't imagine a time before it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, to me, when I think about episodes I missed or episodes that I weren't part of, I'm like, oh, yeah, but there's only like 10 episodes before I actually got involved. No, you ran for like 2 years without me.
Yeah, do you know, it was funny. Me and Lisa were talking the other day. She's like, because I was sat here and I was setting up for the episode, I'm getting all my lights ready and all the background shit and all that. And Lisa's like, I remember when you first started, you used to sit in the corner of the room, tucked down behind the sofa and record on your phone. I was like, yeah, it did. with a blanket over my head to stop echo.
Yeah, it's madness. It's madness. And then, like, I remember, like, the early days, like the really, really early days where we started the Sharknado thing. And even then, I wasn't a regular on it. And it was me, you, and Bruce. We did a few bits. And then it just fucking snowballed to the point where you asked me to be a mainstay.
You've been here ever since.
Been here ever since, which is wild, you know, like it's gone on from such a journey of doing those little bits to where we are now, to me being
best man at my wedding
thing like a week ago, you know.
It's mental. Absolutely mental.
It's mental. It's a mental journey. And this is one of the things that me, Adam, and Jim having a little segue conversation at the wedding party was just saying, and we was just talking about life and all the rest of it, and like how things are so just unusually unexpected, and we was talking about growth as people, and I remember having a conversation with Jim and Adam, and I was like it's just bizarre, you know, like I've got to this stage in my life now where like this was so unexpected for me. A lot of this stuff reflected in my best man speech. I said quite a bit of it in that, but I was just like, it was unexpected for me to hit this point where I didn't have to be friends with people within my social circle because we lived within a certain mile radius of each other, you know. And I think that's one thing that I'm grateful for in terms of internet and Zoom and podcasts and things like that. Like, you know, like my life's changed so much from becoming friends with you and becoming friends with people throughout this weird journey that I've gone on the past 5 years from doing the podcast and meeting everybody. And, you know, and it puts you in a position where you don't have to just accept social norms because it's within a mile radius of where you live, you know. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre. And, you know, I just want to take this opportunity. You know, I know we spoke about the wedding a little bit tonight, but I just want to say a big thank you to you, especially for inviting me to be part of this show and the journey that it's changed my life from doing so. And then especially having the opportunity to stand by you as best man at your wedding. It's been incredible, you know, and it's something that I didn't expect to happen. I certainly didn't welcome it.
No, you didn't.
I certainly didn't welcome it. You know, I'm trying to condense shit now. I'm trying to just hone in on just being a dad and a husband. But yeah, you turned up and you were there and you brought me into the fold, and I'm eternally grateful for that. You know, my life's changed in many ways from being a part of this show and a part of this podcast, and the people I've met along this journey. It's been incredible, you know, and it's something I didn't expect. But it's been a cool journey. So I appreciate you, Scott, very much. And I appreciate you guys who listen week in, week out and give good feedback for me being here. You know, it's been an incredible journey. And I just want to say I'm eternally grateful to you all.
Thank you very, very much. That's very touching and very out of character for your
it's
normal.
Very out of character for me, I will say. And don't worry, it's not going to last.
It was almost at one point I'm going, is this a goodbye speech? Is he about to retire? What the fuck's going on?
No, not all. I think it was just moment. It was just the moment of the wedding and being part of the wedding.
It made everything very real.
Reflection of how this life has blended so much into my real life. You know, like we've done shit outside of this podcast. We meet up all the time. We go and do For Love of Horror, and we just casually meet up as and when we can, you know, but the wedding was the first time I've really incorporated my wife and my kids and my children, you know, and like that was the first time that I've blended these worlds together to the point where
they actually work together as well, which is mind-bendingly clever.
Yeah, you know, but it was like the first time like I've sat back and looked and be like, oh, that's my wife, and oh, that's Scott, and oh, that's Scott's wife, and oh, that's Scott's kids, and they're playing with my kids, and you know, and it's like it was just a moment of realization I had at the wedding. I'm like, this isn't a separate life, you know, this is my life now, you know, and it was a bizarre feeling. It was a really, really bizarre feeling because I've spent the past however many years I've been on this podcast thinking how isolated I was by just doing this as a one-on-one Zoom call podcast thing, because we do live at opposite ends of the country. But to blend the two together in the way that we did this weekend at the wedding was just, it was an eye-opener. And I was like, yeah, man, this isn't just a side bit of my life anymore. This is my life, you know. And that was one of the moments where I just took a step back and I was like, yeah, man, this is fucking awesome. And it wouldn't be possible without the people who listen week in, week out. And it certainly wouldn't be possible without you, Scott. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who does that and helps us get to where we are every week. So cheers, guys. I appreciate you and love you all.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really taken back. Thank you very, very much. You're awesome. I told you how awesome you were at the wedding. I'm not going to do it on air again. Like, you know how awesome, you know how I feel about you. Like you're incredible. And I'm going to move on from there because I'm getting a little bit emotional. That is it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate and review us wherever you can. We really need that. As I said, we've had some negative reviews after Marc's comments on Halloween 3 and my comments on Halloween 3. We'll be back next week. We're going to take a trip to New York as we take a deep dive into a movie.
Freddie attempts to step his toe into Manhattan.
Yeah, Jason
Jason
takes Manhattan. Like even now,
Jason goes on a boat and attempts Manhattan for 2 minutes.
Jason takes a boat trip, nips into Times Square for 2 minutes. That movie. Have a wonderful week, everyone. I wish good stuff for all of you, and I also wish. Hold on, bear with me. Give us lots and lots of listeners this week. I can't break it. There we go.
That's because you've done it already. It's a one Wish Willow for a reason, my friend.
That's why I hurt my hands. Right, we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast. Late at night, I tune into your show where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long round ups. Round up, round up, round up, round up, round up. You run podcasts, horror movie reviews, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. I'm a cowardly. You run podcasts.
It's raping time.